What's up, everybody? This is CryptoDale. Thanks for tuning in with us. Sunday evening. What's the date? That's a good question. The 23rd, where we are recording this. We're doing a little YouTube live video in between some football games, as we're all Deegans and like to bet and play fantasy football because none of us were actually good at football. I suppose that's what everyone says, right? What's up, Killer? How we doing?
Good, dude. Fantasy football could be doing way better.
Truth.
Betting didn't really do much this week, but thankfully so because, well, I would have won like one thing I was thinking, but I've been getting wrecked on betting lately. So, but anyway, good Sunday. Football's always nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite days of the week, actually, even though it's, the work week is right around the corner. But just sitting watching football, hanging out with the family, do some grilling. But speaking of family, how's my brother up in Canada?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been snowing this weekend.
It's just wild.
Just a great time. I'm curious though. Did you say Deegans?
No, I didn't.
I think you did. I think
No.
you said Deegans.
If you don't shut up, banana, lick coin, Degen, sorry.
I don't mind Deegan. Deegans. It's unique, but okay.
It must be that Iowa slang.
Anyways, yeah, man, I'm not doing too bad.
Of all people that should not be correcting folks.
Well, I get picked on so much every once in a while. When I can dish it back, it feels good.
I get that, and yeah. I respect that. So seriously, snow in September?
Yeah, Calgary, man. Anyone who lives out here knows it's just normal. Our weather system is all over the place. Probably be out in flip-flops and shorts in 2 weeks or something. Who knows, right?
In the words of Prince, that's wild.
It is wild, man. It's fucking crazy out here.
Had some nice market pumps here in the last couple days this weekend. I think started about Thursday, Friday-ish. So we thought we'd get the man, the myth, the legend, the puppy that everybody loves.
The guy who was pointing out XRP before it was really gone. TheCryptoDog.
What's up, CryptoDog? What up, dog?
Good afternoon. Good evening, fellas. How are you guys doing?
Oh, living the dream.
How about yourself?
Not bad. Yeah, those pumps this last week has been pretty good, pretty nice. I can't say, it's for sure all season just yet, but I'm not complaining with what we've seen.
Yeah, returns are returns, and like I gotta say, the Ripple pump was pretty intense. We haven't seen anything like that in a while in this market. It's been nice.
No doubt. Yeah. I saw it that one day Bitcoin dumped to like 6,200 or so, and all the alts dipped except for Ripple. It just didn't move at all, and I was like, something's going on here. So had to flip long at 4,300.
And it was because I tailed you a bit there, and it was when you pointed out the volume. And I saw that chart, and it was just like, holy crap, that's when you see something like that, it's like, okay, that's kind of a trigger. Like, let's watch that.
Definitely significant. And with their small conference coming up, it's not surprising in the slightest.
Yeah.
With Bill Clinton speaking, right? He's the keynote.
Right, yeah. Big Bill.
Is he? Big Bill.
Yeah, what is that about? Let's be for real.
Anyone that can try to get up with some apparent credibility in some ways, I guess they're gonna do it, right?
Well, who did they have last year? Bernanke?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, so Dog, let's how we always start this with guests is why don't you give a little background on yourself and maybe explain how you got into crypto, what you like about it, etc.
Sure. So it's a pretty long story. I actually got into crypto way back when I was a young youth, I guess I could say. 2011, I was a huge nerd. I was into computer gaming and graphics and all that kind of stuff. So I basically saved up every single summer all the money I made because I wasn't, couldn't work a full job or anything yet, and made this amazing desktop computer. Built it over the course of like a couple of days, but I spent months and months and months planning out every little piece. And along the way, I discovered, oh shoot, I can get a little bit of return on these graphics cards by mining this wacky cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Of course, there wasn't a cryptocurrency out there except for Bitcoin, but so yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was always on all the tech websites, and I kept seeing it over and over. So I got involved. I jumped on Bitcoin Talk, which back then, I think it was just bitcoin.org/forum or something like that. And yeah, I got really involved in the community, the mining community. I mined a bunch of coins that I didn't ever keep. So unfortunately, yeah, I had to jump back in 2014. See, I got really busy with school and my studies, and I just, I mean, GPU mining wasn't efficient anymore. I just kind of fell out of it. I sold my coins for sometimes pennies, few dollars here. I remember in June, I hadn't been going for too long, but I had a few coins, and there was this massive crash back in 2011. I think it went down from $10 to like a single cent. I definitely panic dumped in like the dollar zone, so it was pretty bad.
That was like welcome to the roller coaster.
Exactly. So yeah, I got busy with school and finally kind of got back into crypto a little bit 2015, 2016. I bought a few Bitcoin. I think my last purchase was around $400 or so. I just kind of sat on that. I didn't really do anything with it. I went back to studying, and then one of my friends said, "Hey, check out this new thing you can mine. It's called Ethereum." And I just totally ignored him. I thought, dude, that sounds ridiculous. You don't need more coins than Bitcoin. What are you talking about? So I was a bit of a Bitcoin maximalist without even realizing it. But sure enough, 6 months later, I got into Ethereum. And at this time, it was around 25, 30 bucks. Got a little taste of the altcoin pumps. And yeah, I've been trading ever since.
So you've been in it for quite some time. Like, how has the space changed significantly in your mind from when you first started or when you first heard about it, made your first trade? How has everything changed, or maybe perhaps remained the same in some ways?
So I have to say the biggest change is the amount of information out there. Now, not all of it is factual, accurate, or helpful, but there is so much more education and information about blockchain tech, crypto trading, cryptocurrencies, just in general, all across the space. So I have to say that's probably one of the coolest things. Way back in the day, if you want to get into Bitcoin, you'd either have to be a nerd or know someone who really knew what was going on, or just spend hours and hours and hours, because it really wasn't that easy, you know? I mean, sure, the basics made sense, sending and receiving, wallets, etc., but nothing was user friendly. I remember messing around in command prompt to get my miners to work, and you know that just doesn't fly with the average person. So it's definitely gotten a lot easier, a lot more palatable to get into cryptocurrency these days.
I feel like it's still not very user friendly though for like the average person. Like, we're all pretty tech savvy, but I still talk to my dad and I use him as like a benchmark. And he's like, he logged on to Poloniex the other day, and he made his account like a year ago, and he's trying to figure out like what everything means, what to do, what all the decimal points mean, and he had no idea. And it just was like a quick reminder to me. I'm like, we have like a long way to go in terms of user, experience and that sort of stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I think one of the weirdest things for me when I first got in was trading in like the Bitcoin pairing and just having all those decimals, it's like 0.000 something. It's like, and I hated it when I first got in. I was like, this is just ridiculous. I don't want to look at it like that. But now it's just, that's normal. It's whatever. But yeah.
And what's kind of funny too, Prince, to piggyback on that, is now sometimes like I hate seeing the price in USD because I'm like, it's just like, no. Yeah. And Dog, back to what you said, I tried to buy some Bitcoin back in 2014, and I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy, but I couldn't figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
It was just crazy to me.
Yeah, the infrastructure, it's just been getting better and better. But yeah, you're right. It's not 100% there. It's so definitely not like super user friendly for the average person. But it's getting there. And I think as far as like the whole crypto trading on the decimals and everything, I don't think that's ever going to be, for the average person. I don't think it shouldn't be, or I don't think it should be. But as far as just transacting back and forth, I definitely see the average person in the next 10 years being able to do that.
So with that, let's maybe talk about where you see crypto going, within, let's just give like a time frame, like a year or two, and then 5 years, 10 years, etc. And again, obviously, this is just your opinion. Everyone needs to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, are you talking more of like adoption based or price?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adoption.
Good question. So, I mean, this is a more serious question than actually talking about price. Price is more of a, it doesn't matter what the price is as long as you can use Bitcoin. Um, but yeah, I can't say I know for sure, but it seems like Bitcoin is becoming more and more of a, it's a tool for strength for individuals and nations that, they can't rely on their government, they can't rely on their own fiat money. And so I feel like I can't predict the destabilization of governments across the world, but I feel like over time, Bitcoin's really going to get this reputation of, okay, this is my way out. This is my kind of freedom for, saving my money. So I think I can't say it's going to be like 50% adoption or anything ridiculous like that. They want you to believe that everyone's going to be using it with the Bitcoin standard and everything. And I got to say that's possible. I don't think it couldn't happen that way, but we're a very long way off. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the main things that I kind of have still have trouble with accepting, that like decentralized utopia thing where there are no corporations, no companies, no actual people in charge of anything really, and it's just services that operate autonomously in the benefit for everybody. It's like, but it's really hard for me to actually stomach that as happening anytime soon. But you talk to some people or you look at some people's tweets, and they seem to think that is something that's coming in the next couple of years, which seems ridiculous to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we're going to get something like that, that's going to take more of like a 50 to 100 years time frame. That's a full societal shift. But I mean, just as far as everyday adoption, I could see crypto becoming really popular between just about everybody. If I don't know if we can get in some apps like Amazon, that would just make it so much easier. And if we had a lot more clear government regulation and understanding. Because for the most part, we still are in a very gray area.
There's a lot of people who don't want to touch it just because of that. It's like they just don't know what to think, and it's like, well, let's just not bother with it.
Yeah, I see it becoming like way more popular from an investment standpoint before it's ever way more popular from a usability and actual utility standpoint. I think more and more people are going to be drawn to the space when they see, oh, you can make 50% in a day, like with some kind of regularity trading shitcoins. Then yeah, I'll get involved. I think that's the thing that kind of drives everybody to anything is the monetary reward potential. And I feel like that's still going to be really high with crypto for quite some time, which touches on sort of the other side of Dale's question in terms of where you think the price might be going.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, all right, yeah, I'm no wizard or anything, but if I had to take a look at the charts, I think realistically, I don't think 100K in the next 5 years is unreasonable. I think we probably will see another parabolic advance sometime in the next 5 years. Might not be in the next year, but the next halvening will cut off that increasing supply a little bit more, and there's going to be people still accumulating. That's the thing about Bitcoin, is that there's such a finite amount, that it's just a matter of a few big groups, government organizations, or just very wealthy individuals who want to buy that supply up. There's nothing you can do about it,
Supply and demand at its finest,
right. Yeah. And so as long as it has this digital gold value where you still have this giant layer of holders and believers that just keep coming on more and more, I feel like we're going to see the same sort of situation that we saw over the past couple of years.
How have you handled now the market downturn since the start of the new year and all that? Because I think that's another thing that it's been tough for a lot of people, pretty much everyone, right? But how have you gone about handling yourself, your portfolio, and all that through these swings?
So for the most part, I actually dialed back my trading a lot. There just isn't as much volatility to take, and so really, except for taking the last few days out of consideration, for the most part, I only take like 2 to 3 trades a week at most. It's just a matter of setting bids and sells and waiting. We don't have a lot of great movement where you can ping pong back between different trades. So really staying not out of the market, but being a lot more passive has been my go-to so far.
Did it take you like a long time to kind of get to that point of having the self-control to actually not trade? Because that was one of the biggest things I struggled with on this downturn, is trying to trade shop and thinking I knew the trend before it was actually clear. And it took me a really long time. And I think maybe even just as of a couple of months ago, I've kind of realized like, okay, stop trading. You know, you're doing terribly.
Yeah.
How was that experience like for you?
So I wouldn't say that there was like an increase or decrease, but more of just kind of like I've flipped flopped back and forth a couple times where I'll go through a phase where, okay, all right, I'm going to try to trade this, you know, and try to really focus in and get this going. And then I'll realize, okay, no, the volatility isn't there. Nothing's bullish. You know, I just gotta, you know, take a couple shorts and sit back. But I don't feel like there was like a single moment where I was like, okay, all right, I've totally mastered this. I'm so perfect at sitting on my hands when there's nothing happening. It's definitely just been a constant work in progress. I mean, I don't feel like I've overtraded too much, but there's definitely been, you know, some days and weeks where I'll be like, gosh, I should have just sat this day out.
Yeah. What do you do like when you kind of come to that realization, like you're like, wow, okay, I've really kind of screwed up here. What do you do like with yourself when you can make that realization? Like, how do you go on then from there forward? Do you like, you know, kind of attack it with a journal and all that stuff, or how do you deal with that?
So, I mean, I personally find the best thing is just taking time off and focusing on something else that's productive and, you know, makes me feel like, okay, all right, I'm doing something really great now. So,
Yeah.
you know, got to get that confidence back somehow. And trying to do that by forcing a trade is not the way to go. The thing is, when you're on a losing streak, you start to feel this tilt where it's like, okay, I've got to win. I've got to win. I don't think you should try to find that from trading after you've taken a few losses. Best bet is to take some time off, do something else you enjoy, or do something else you know you're good at. And yeah.
Yeah, because at that time, you know, you start questioning your charts, like, you know, and I've done this a lot here lately too. You start questioning your charts, so you're just like, you know, I don't know, is this right? Well, yeah, it is. And then you get in the trade, and then you come back and look, and you're like, you know, how did I miss this here, or whatever the case may be. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like for me, like the problem that I get into most of the time with that sort of stuff with TA is I keep my time frame too small or too short. You know, I look at like 15-minute candles or like 30-minute candles when I really should be looking at 4-hour, 12-hour, you know, like daily candles, things like that. But it comes from this like ridiculous need to always have action, always be in something or have some kind of vested interest. It's tough to do that.
I think like one thing that I don't know, it really helped me even was just trying to become patient enough to wait for the 4-hour candle closes before I'd make a movement. You know, if you're seeing a candle and you're seeing some action, and I think, you know, it's pretty common with Bitcoin where you get these crazy wicks. And so sometimes you see action happening and you might just chase into this position because the price is moving so quickly, and then all of a sudden by the time the candle closes it's right back to where it opened or something. You're just sitting there like, oh, what the hell was that, right? So even that, like, and that's tough alone, right? And that's a whole patience thing again, and it's just on a 4-hour time frame. But yeah, just waiting for the candle closes.
Definitely.
I think if there's one thing, you know, if this all goes to zero, and which I don't think it is, and everything, I think the one thing the biggest life lesson I've learned from this is patience. I mean, because, you know, I can't count how many times I've had buy bids in, and then, you know, I see it pumping, and I'm just like, you know,
rush to
market buy, and then
market
it goes,
buy.
You know, then you wake up the next morning, and then you review everything and look, oh, my buy would have hit overnight, or you know, a week later, the case may be. So I think, you know, and that's something I struggled with early on, and I still struggle with it, but I have gotten better.
No doubt.
It's tough, right? Because like I think we've gone from, you know, we were all around for the wild bull market, and you didn't have to be patient, right? You could be a complete idiot, and you were going to be good. And then, you know, the bear comes around, and then now it's like, okay, no, now you're going to be tested. Can you sit on your hands? Can you just wait? Or are you going to chase every little move and then, you know, get dumped on further?
Exactly.
Okay, Dog, so
Yeah.
you've been in for quite some time, obviously. Like, what is it about crypto do you think that keeps you coming back or keeps you interested? Because you're looking at like 7 years in the space at this point, right? Ish.
Yeah. So I guess okay, all right. So my nerd side, my interest in technology definitely has always kept my interest peaked. But I also have always had an interest in finance and money and how it all works. I never studied it formally, and I always regretted that. I always wanted to understand more about how all those numbers and things just worked. And so through crypto, I've been able to learn a surprisingly large amount on finance, economic. Well, okay, not like macroeconomics or anything, but just as far as being able to pull up a chart of equities or just something outside of crypto, pull out the weekly chart, and I can actually see, oh, all right, that's what was happening there, and that's what was happening there. And it really kind of, I'm rambling a bit here, but it just, I feel like I learned something in watching crypto happen. It's like a very, very fast moving world market that, okay, it's a little ridiculous, all the pumps and everything, but it just shows you human psychology playing out in real time. And it's just so fascinating to me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so pure. They're just pure markets.
Dog, how long before, once you got in, how long before you say that you felt really comfortable with TA?
Honestly, probably, probably not until more of earlier this year, like the whole 2017 run. I mean, the early 2017, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Late 2017, I started learning a lot more, following some TA gurus that I now look at as terrible. Angles worked. Well,
Yeah.
so I thought I knew what was going on, and the bear market hit, and I thought, all right, it all makes sense. Of course, we're in a bear market now. It's this that's just what happens, and I understood it all. It all made sense, but I realized, oh crap, I got to be a lot more precise with everything. I have to be a lot more serious with everything because we did have that just amazing handicap before. But I would say probably towards the middle of this year is when I started to really feel in the zone as far as just being able to sit on my hands, take the right trades, and stick out of all the shitty entries.
What were some things you did that maybe helped you get to that level?
Gosh, I don't have like a single exercise or anything I can point to. I think it's for the most part just time and watching and seeing what happens and seeing it over and over and over again. And you just start to identify these patterns and kind of have a better understanding of what the candle means when it prints.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really think that about trading sometimes is it's absolutely something that you have to put in the time for. There's no accelerated path to getting good at it. You have to experience different kind of cycles, different kind of emotions, thinking different things as the chart does crazy, wacky stuff. And like there's really no replacement for just experiencing that firsthand. Like nobody can kind of convey those emotions you feel to you.
Definitely.
It's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, so the best way to learn is by fire. I mean, in my opinion, you can obviously you can familiarize yourself with everything like at Baby Pips and following guys that really know what they're doing. But in my opinion, until you see it firsthand, it's there's no better learning than firsthand experience, in my opinion. But
well, you gotta have real money at stake, right?
Yeah.
You got to, and this is why there's always that debate about, well, is paper trading actually even a good route to take when you're learning? And that's always up for debate. And I think there's definitely the positives and the negatives, but you don't really learn until you feel that pain of oh, that was a paycheck. Oh,
yeah.
Dog, do you have favorite sectors within crypto that you like or you think are more valid long term? Because I know when it first started, it was pretty much just Bitcoin, and it was like that was it. But it's really sprung off into all these different directions. So in terms of sectors, how do you view them? Which ones do you favor?
It's a good question. So of course, just as far as a transaction of value, that is the most obvious, makes the most sense use case. But furthermore from there, I mean, I think things like Ethereum and I'm not going to say EOS, but platforms like that are cool. But I don't get the huge, insane value behind the tokens used on the platforms. I mean, I think that the technology is cool. You can do cool stuff with it, but the valuation doesn't make sense. But as far as things that I see really making a difference in the world, would be use cases like identity. Using a blockchain to confirm your identity, for example, in democracy and voting. I think that'll be a very big thing over the next 50 to 100 years. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been watching what's going on, but it seems like there's a lot of voter fraud or potential voter fraud going on.
Yeah.
So at the very least, let's make sure. Let's put it on the blockchain. Now, of course, it's a lot more complicated than just throwing it on a blockchain, but I feel like blockchain technology does allow for a very transparent way to store that information. And then beyond there, I would say, I think it'd be really cool to see blockchain in healthcare. I don't know exactly what that form is going to look like just yet, but I've been looking at a few different projects. I'm not going to show anything right now. But yeah, I've been looking at a few different guys that are doing some interesting things in healthcare with blockchain, but just being able to transact information privately and without having to trust anybody, that's enough to make a difference in a lot of different sectors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, healthcare is a big one that's always stuck out to me also, because if you think about it right now, you go to a doctor, you submit most of your medical history to, as much as they can access to them, but there's no like kind of central source where people can access all of your data from all the different doctors you've ever visited and really have a comprehensive look at, what your medical history is like. And I think if there's like a better record keeping system to do that, and to store your information in a safe way, but in a way that all of your different doctors can access and really make the best decision regarding your health.
Exactly. Yeah, just a nice electronic health record database where you carry your private key up to your to your doctor and be like, hey, yep, here's all my medical history from ever. That would just be phenomenal. It would really be a huge upgrade over what we have now in most of the world.
Do you have a coin that's like very like clearly your best trade ever, or the coin that's been the most profitable for you or beneficial to you or anything like that?
Honestly, no, I'm gonna have to say Bitcoin on that one. Yeah. I mean, Ethereum was really great last year. It's what really got me into the altcoins. But I can't say there's been one. I mean, there's one that got away. Nano, I'm sure you guys have heard of that one.
Too. Yeah.
So I bought that one back in the summer last year, I think for like somewhere between 1,500 to 3,000 Satoshis. I put probably I think it was somewhere around 0.3 Bitcoin in at that time. So, my investment was what, maybe $700 or something, but maybe 1,000, I don't know. But yeah, that investment would have been like, I think $1 million at one point if I had held.
Damn.
I sold on a double. I thought, oh my gosh, I sold on a Bitcoin double. So I think it was 6,000 Satoshis, and then it went to what, 200,000, something like that. So
That's wild. That is.
I got a lot of regrets with that coin too, so I feel your pain. That was a tough one.
Yeah, buy Ryblox, not Nano.
Yeah, like what? Like it had like it was around like a $3 million market cap for so long.
Yeah, all the OGs were like, Ryblox, guys, you got to get it. And I was like, all right, okay, everybody's in on this one. I got to get it.
The amount of times like I'd be holding it, but then it wasn't doing anything, and I wanted to make room for other trades. So it's like, all right, well, I guess this one's, there's going to be some sells put up and whatever. Let's go find something else to move around. And then you finally start seeing it move, and you're like, oh, this is just disgusting. I'm cringing. Like,
yep. I mean, the whole it being only on BitGrail made it very easy to hold. But yeah, as soon as it doubled, I was like, holy crap, I've been waiting for months, like a half year for this thing. I'm going to take my money out now. But I guess in retrospect, it's not the worst thing, because a lot of people did lose money on BitGrail when they exit scam.
Yeah, that was greasy. There was a lot of money lost.
So, Doug, let's talk about what you think about the current market right now. I mean, like we said earlier in the episode, we've had some rare green here in the last couple of days. You know, obviously you don't have to pin down what you know. I mean, no one's going to hold you to this. Just kind of hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And something I always say is, anyone who acts like they know exactly what's going to happen, that's ridiculous. No one knows for sure what's going to happen. But we can look at the charts and we can take, reasonable guesses and, take our trades. But so we have seen a lot of green in altcoins. In fact, they saw a really nice breakout from this massive falling wedge since February or so, or maybe the whole length of the thing. So that's amazing. That's like a hugely bullish sign. We're right now sitting right at this horizontal resistance in overall altcoin market cap. So we're at a spot where it looks really amazing, but you can't long it because this is resistance. This is a terrible risk to reward trade. So fortunately, I got in a few alts already, but I'd say right now we're in a little bit of limbo. I want to say in the next 24, 48 hours, we're going to see some big pumps, but we could definitely get rejected. This could be a really, really shitty bull trap. So
people are going to hold you to that now.
no, I mean I'm bullish. I'm pretty long, but I'm not going to say yes for sure. It's all season.
I get that, and we've seen some nice. A lot of in my opinion, a lot of the charts look bottomed out. A lot of them really look the same to me, and so I wouldn't be surprised either if some things pop off. Hopefully there are bags, but if not, that's cool too.
And I mean, the thing is, the volume is there to support this move, or at least Wednesday, Thursday. So it's not just this fluke. At least from what I can see, it sure seems like there's some intention.
Well, especially too, like I think just watching Ethereum when it was going down to that 180, 190 kind of zone, and the volume that you see on the chart that really just flew in around there, which, that's what you want to see, right? And then the price from there is, been going higher. So, that tells me buyers were stepping in hard, and that's definitely something you want. It's I think the best way to put it is like I'm very bullish, but I have an extreme side of caution along with it. It's like because you just never know, right? Like I still want to see us make a higher high on Bitcoin. So who knows? If we can get over 7K and all that, then things start looking pretty cool to me. So.
I feel like a lot of people have been burned like trying to trade this chop, and so it's going to take quite a bit for me to be like actually bullish. I mean, I'll like kind of feel it within myself, but I'm going to be denying it because I've been like there have been so many false starts. I think. Oh my god, at least.
So true.
And that's when that's when things can truly turn around in a sense too, right? It's when no one believes it.
Yeah, Bitcoin's going to have to be above like 8,500 ish. I think for me to really be like, okay, this might be something.
I feel like my number is 7,800 for some reason.
So just live in the moment. Just live in the moment, guys.
Shut up.
I feel like it's not really a set number where it's like, all right, we're bullish. It's more of just a matter of overall trend change. And for that, I'm really looking at moving averages. So I'd really like to see the 50, 100, and 200 all cross over each other. And then if we could see a nice spike and then a dip to test the 200 EMA, and if we can bounce from there, then I feel like, okay, all right, maybe we have a real bull trend going now. Because we could pump to 10K and still this massive fake out dump to 5,000. It's definitely possible. I'm not sure if you saw what happened last year, or sorry, 2014. There was this massive 300% altcoin run while Bitcoin dropped. So we could always see something ridiculous like that.
All right, dog. Final question of the night or episode. You ready for this one? It's the hardest one.
All right, what's going on?
How'd you come up with CryptoDog?
Ooh, that's a really good question. No, so it actually took me a full week to figure this out. I saw everybody on crypto Twitter with their silly names and everything. I thought that was cute. But I wanted something that was, it wasn't attached to some trademark or some TV show or something where I could, fully own it. And I thought, all right, what is something generic enough that everybody loves? I have this dog that I love. People love dogs. Okay, CryptoDog. That's a pretty good idea. And then my buddy and I were Googling around images. I think we looked up chill dog or cool dog or something.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and found this amazing looking Labrador with the glasses. So yeah, just had to go with it.
No, I think it's a mainstay, and all you guys were on that Game of Thrones, which I found out, Killer, you don't have to kill me. Dragon fixture the other day, and poor old Dale was left out. So
I had a nice,
wait.
I had a nice chunk of land up near the mountains. It was pretty.
we-
I didn't have to worry about too many neighbors.
Can we touch
It
on
was
the
cool.
fact that Dale doesn't watch Game of Thrones?
no,
here
we
real
cannot.
quick?
Thanks
That's,
everyone for listening.
Very questionable.
I've never seen a single.
I just started
episode.
watching Castle Rock, and this show is just wild. Like, I'm binging it right now, so I'll probably be done the season right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
So are you
That's-
done with it then?
Oh, soon, man. Soon. I got a few more episodes left.
Okay. All right. Well, Dog. That'll wrap up for the episode. Do you have any final parting words?
Well, I wanted to say just a shout out to you, Dale. That really sucks what Twitter's been doing to you, and I really hope
Thanks.
you get your account situation situated. That just that's a nightmare, man.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie, and it's depressing a little bit. And everyone says oh, your follower count doesn't matter, but it's still pretty cool to say that. I think I figured I had. My wife and I was telling her the other night, and kind of maybe pumping my chest out, maybe trying to impress her a little bit. I was like, I have more followers than people in the entire county that we live in. So, I mean, I sound like a huge douche right now. So
I'm just a huge deal. Don't worry about me. I got so many followers.
oh, shut up, Prince. No, but thanks, Dog. I appreciate that. So everyone listening, thank you. This is episode 98. We're 2 away from episode 100, which is crazy. We're gonna have Bully and Messiah are gonna be on for that. We're gonna do some giveaways, some other stuff. So hopefully everyone can tune in on. We're gonna live stream it. So we'll each talk about our favorite memory, or favorite clip from the 99 before. So, but anyways, yeah, listen up. Thanks again, Dog. It was great chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem.
man.
Everyone, take care. Be safe. Tip your waitress. Peace out, guys. Thanks.